Hello friends, hope we meet in the best of health and welcome to another session of direct taxes. Now this question is a salaries question on gratuity and leave encashment. This is the main two entries. These are the main two entries which are impacting the calculation. I had given this question to my students as a homework question, so I thought of uploading it on YouTube so all those who are watching could take the benefit of this. Okay, let's proceed. It's a very simple question. Mrs. Urvashi retired on 31st October of the PY after completing 15 years and 8 months of services. Remember, she retired on 31st October. This means that she has worked for 7 months in the year. April to October end is a period of 7 months and she has worked for 7 months during the year. So her salary component will be in these 7 months and the retirement benefit which she gets will be on or after the date of retirement, that is 31st October onwards. Okay. So 15 years and 8 months is the period of service rendered and we have to compute her taxable income under the head salaries. Now you're given the basic salary at the time of retirement is 20,000 per month. So on 31st October, the monthly salary at the time of retirement, that is 31st October, was 20,000 per month. Correct? But the last increment in basic took place on 1st of July and the increment was 5,000. This means the salary got increased by 5,000 rupees to 20,000. It's like saying it was X earlier. On 1st of July, a 5,000 addition made it 20,000. So commonsensically, I get to know that before 1st of July, that is in April, May and June, the salary must have been 5,000 rupees less than the salary at the time of retirement, which obviously means that the salary must have been 15,000 rupees a month. So the basic salary will be 15,000 per month for the first 3 months, that is April, May and June. And from the month of July to the end of October, that is July, August, September and October, for the next 4 months, the basic salary will be 20,000 per month. The DA enters into retirement benefits, that means it is DA forming part of salary or DA in terms of the salary, and that is 100% of the basic. So whatever you get as basic, the same amount will be the DNS allowance. She has received a gratuity of 8 lakhs. This is at the time of retirement, so there will be an exemption which we need to calculate. And she also received leave encashment of 4 lakh rupees at the time of retirement. The leave allowed by the employer per completed year of service was 1.5 months. The employer allows 1.5 months per completed year of service. But as we know, if we've studied our leave encashment theory well, income tax will allow you a maximum of 1 month per completed year. The leave taken during the service period, that is throughout the 15 years during the service period, 6 months leave was availed by Urvashi. And finally, there's profession tax, that is the employment tax which is paid is 200 per month. It's a very simple calculation, may get intricate at times, so we need to pay a bit of attention. Most of you may have already calculated the solution, some of you have also given me the answer, but let's also look into how it should be presented in the exam. Let's start. Okay, so as I discussed the basic salary, we start 15,000 into 3. That will be 45,000 and 20,000 for the next 4 months. So 20,000 into 4 is 80,000. So if you add the two, your basic salary should come to 1,25,000. As simple as that. And since the DNS allowance was 100% of the basic, here we go. The DNS allowance is also 1,25,000. Now we've got gratuity as well as leave encashment both in the question. I prefer to do the leave encashment first because it's smoother. I'll show you how it goes a bit smoother. The calculation goes a bit quicker and we can save some time in the exam, which may fetch us, which may ultimately translate into marks. So let's see. The leave encashment was received and that was rupees 4 lakhs. Correct? So I'm posting it in the inner column since there's an exemption, and the exemption is given under section 1010 AA. So I very clearly mentioned the section, that is 1010 AA, exempt under section 1010 AA. Many students ask me that is it important to write such sections? I say yes. If you ignore the section, there's a possibility that the examiner could ignore the marks, and then you may get converted from marks to no marks. So as far as possible, yes, these are important provisions. I suggest you remember the section 1010 AA. Now we start with the formula leave credit into average salary per month. Correct? The first component of the exemption is the leave credit, and we multiply it by the average salary per month. Let us go into the leave credit. The answer comes to 9 months, and we'll work out how we got the leave credit of 9 months. Okay? So here we go. Leave credit, we go by the formula leave credit is equal to leave allowed minus leave taken. Correct? Now, why are we calculating the leave credit? It is very, very clear. We are calculating the leave credit for the purpose of exemption. Who gives us the exemption? It is income tax who gives us the exemption. So, the leave credit has to be determined in accordance with the guidelines given by income tax. And income tax says that, look, in calculating the leave credit, we will not allow you to take leave allowed more than 1 month per completed year of service. Leave allowed here is 1 month multiplied by the number of years. We need the leave credit for the entire service period, so we also have to find leave allowed for the entire service period. Income tax allows you 1 month per year. So if you worked for 15 years, then the total leave allowed will be 1 month into 15 years, which is 15 months. The leave taken is clearly given in the question at 6 months. So your leave credit will be 15 months minus 6 months, which is 9 months. Okay, and this is how we got the leave credit of 9 months. Now this is to be multiplied by the average salary per month, which works out to 34,000 a month, and how we got the 34,000, that we'll see. So here we go. Our year starts on 1st of April and the date of retirement is 31st of October. So you must have received your salary during the period of 1st April to 31st October. Remember, we are calculating the average salary for leave encashment. It is the average of 10 months including the month of retirement, the preceding 10 months including the month of retirement, and it has 3 components: the gross basic, the DA in terms of salary, and the turnover commission. Now, a quick way to calculate this is, you have already worked out the 7 months basic in your statement, haven't you? You worked out the 7 months basic in your statement and you have written the basic salary in your statement at 1,25,000. Now this is from 1st April to the month of retirement. Correct? This covers the entire span and we need an average of 10 months. This is only 7 months. 7 months salary is 125. We need an average of 10 months. So what we do is we go 3 months behind. No matter if you go into an earlier PY, does not matter. But we need the average of 10 months preceding the retirement, and therefore you've already got 7 months, 1,25,000. Go 3 more months behind. Now during the old period, that is before 1st July, we knew that the salary which we drew was 15,000 per month. So during these 3 months, the salary must have been 15,000 into 3, which is 45,000. So now what do? You find out your average basic. The average of the basic salary will be the average of the preceding 10 months, which is 1,25,000 plus 45,000, that is 1,70,000 divided by 10, which will come to 17,000 a month. So you went 10 months back, You included the month of retirement in the preceding 10 months. You worked out the average basic, it comes to 17,000. Now, most students make the mistake here because they pick this itself as the average salary. My friends, this is not the average salary. This is just a component of the average salary. It still has two more components. You need the average DA in terms of salary. And the DA is 100% of the basic. So common sense tells me that if the basic is 17,000 per month, the average DA will also work out to 17,000 per month. Turnover commission is also to be included, but in this question, the turnover commission is nil, and therefore the average salary which you get for the purpose of leave encashment works out to 34,000. Clear? I believe this is very simple, and this is the quickest method to go about things in the exam. Okay, the timeline is for your illustration. This is the working. You can note this down. In the meanwhile, we'll quickly go back to where we started, and that was 9 months into 34,000 per month. This is where we were. So when we are calculating the exemption under 1010AA, this was the first limb of the exemption. Leave credit into average salary per month, which works out to 3,06,000. The next limb tells you to take the 10 months average salary, the average salary during the 10 months period, which is 10 months into the average salary per month, that works out to 3,40,000. The third is the actual amount received, which is 4 lakhs, that is what you received. And the maximum exemption cannot cross 3 lakh rupees. So we have a maximum of 3 lakhs. The lowest of the four is the exemption. The least of the four is 3 lakh rupees. So that will be exempt. 4 lakhs was received. 3 lakhs is exempt. So that leaves you with 1 lakh leave salary taxable. Correct? 4 lakhs leave encashment received, 3 lakhs got exempt. So obviously the remaining 1 lakh is to be taxed. Clear? Now quickly let's run through gratuity, because that's what's left. The major part left is gratuity. And how much is the gratuity received in the question? We've received a gratuity of 8 lakhs at the time of retirement. Now this gratuity is exempt under section 1010. Correct? 1010(1) is for the government employee, 1010 clause 2 is for the Payment of Gratuity Act employees. Nothing is mentioned in the question whether she is a government employee or covered by the Payment of Gratuity Act. So obviously she falls in the other employee category. Now when you go to other employees, the formula for exemption is you take half into the average salary per month. Now once again you got to work out the average salary, but this time remember the average salary is for the purpose of gratuity, not for the purpose of leave encashment. So there will be a slight difference in the formula which we will work out. The average salary comes to 33,000 per month. If you look at the leave encashment average salary, it was 34,000. This works out to 33,000 per month. So here we go, and as to how we calculated it. Once again, we've got a timeline spanning 1st April to 31st October. That is from the year beginning up to the date of retirement. Correct? Once again, I'll follow the same trend. During the 7 months which we've recorded in our statement, of salary, the basic salary recorded for this 7 months is 1,25,000. But my dear friends, when we calculate the average salary for the purpose of gratuity, you have to exclude the retirement month in this average, because the words of the Act ask you to pick 10 months immediately preceding the month of retirement. So the month of retirement is to be excluded, and that's exactly what I will do is I'll exclude the month of October. During October, my salary was 20,000. So that 20,000 I'm going to exclude from the average calculation. So this leaves me with 1,25,000 minus 20, that is 1,05,000. This 1,05,000 is obviously a 6-month salary, because out of the total 7 months we removed October, so we are left with 6 months. This means that we need to go 4 months back. So what do? we go back with a blast into the past, another 4 months back, and during that 4 months period, the salary during that time was 15,000 a month. So 15,000 into 4 will give me 60,000. Now take the 6 months and 4 months, add it. So your average basic will come to 1,05,000 plus 60,000, which is 1,65,000 divided by 10, and you will get 16,500 a month as the average basic. Please do not stop here. We've got to continue with the average DA in terms. Now this is no rocket science, because the average DA is equal to the basic. It's 100% of basic. So here we go, and that is another 16,500. Check if there's any turnover commission. No turnover commission in the question, which gives you an average salary for gratuity of 33,000. I hope this is very, very clear. Correct? All working notes should form part of your answer. Make sure you do not skip any working notes in the exam. So my friends, here we are once again. So we are half into the average salary per month, and let us multiply this by the number of years, and the number of years obviously would be 15 years. We've got 15 years and 8 months, but remember, the fraction of the year is to be ignored, and so we ignore the fraction of the year. We take completed years only, and that is 15 years. So how much do you get? Half into 33,000 per month into 15 years, you should get 2,47,500. Now the second limb of the exemption is the actual amount received, which is 8 lakhs obviously, and the maximum exemption for gratuity is 20 lakhs. The least of the three can be considered for exemption, and the least of the three is 2,47,500. 8 lakhs gratuity received, 247,500 is exempt. So as we all know, the difference, that is 5,52,500, will be taxable. Clear? So now look into the question. If there's any other component of income remaining, if not, let us go to the total, take the total and call it as the gross salary. So how much is the gross salary? We get 9,02,500 as the gross salary. From the gross salary, we subtract the deductions under section 16. The standard deduction to cover all incidental expenses, etc. The fixed standard deduction is 50,000. The entertainment allowance will be nil. There's no entertainment allowance in the question. And also, the second thing is that had there been entertainment allowance in the question, still we couldn't claim the deduction. The reason is she is not a government employee. Oh yes, we indeed do have profession tax paid in the question of 200 per month. Remember, don't make the mistake of multiplying it by 12. You got to take it only for the period of service, that is 200 into 7, which will be 1,400. So you subtract 9,02,500 minus 50,000 minus 1,400, and you will get the taxable income from salaries at 8,51,100. So that was your calculation. Very simple, very smooth, very straightforward. If you have any queries, you can mail me on the mail given in the ticker, and also you could WhatsApp me on the number given in the ticker. Till we meet again, so long, be good, and I wish you all the best in your endeavor and also the best of health. Take care. Bye-bye.